So today I want to talk to you about a genre that sometimes scares people.
Every moment is a teachable moment.
Medical narration. It's one of my favorite genres, and in reality, for long-format narration, it's also one of my highest-paying narration genres. What's involved in medical voiceover? Well, most people think right away that it's all sorts of tough words and words that are like this long. But let me tell you, not all medical narration consists of really tough words. Yes, there are some tough words in there, and that is why we get paid so well, because we have to learn how to pronounce those words. I wish that I knew how to pronounce every long word in medical narration that there was, but of course, I'm not a doctor, nor do I work in the medical field on a day-to-day basis where I would be saying those words. So it is a task that if you decide to get into medical narration, you might encounter those words. And it is something that you will have to do is to look up how to pronounce those words. And you will also have to figure out, how do I say those words? Not just say them, but say them confidently, as if you say them every single day. That's probably the toughest part, really, about medical narration. And the rest of the medical narration really kind of covers a lot of different styles and a lot of different divisions within the medical community. So, for example, there's a whole series of medical narrations that are about pharmaceuticals, right? Pharmaceuticals are a large business in the United States. And so there are voice actors that are hired to read about pharmaceuticals, what their, maybe what their ingredients are, how to take them, what the dosage is, what contraindications there are, what sort of interactions they might have. And essentially, I do that myself for a number of medical companies. And it's something I really love to do. I always try to anticipate that I'm speaking to someone who needs to hear this information, but I don't want to alarm them, because there's a lot of big words in pharmaceuticals. There might be lots of scary symptoms. There might be some directions in there that might be complicated. And so for me to be able to voice something like that and to really inform the listener without scaring them or alarming them really requires me to be a human voice and not just a robotic voice that is spewing out long medical terminology. That is one area of medical narration, is pharmaceuticals. Another area can be medical corporate medical, which is medical devices, hospitals. So any company that produces a medical device or has a hospital or a doctor group, I lump them into the corporate, because in America, medical narration is on the corporate side. And so they try to sell their medical devices or sell their services to a population. And so there's a little more of a sell to these, where it's not so much informing or educational, but it's kind of more of a come and join us. We have the best doctors. We have the best technology. That's another aspect of medical narration, which is really more on the corporate side of medical. The next big aspect of medical narration is the educational aspect of medical narration, where you might be the doctor that is teaching medical interns, or the doctor that is teaching a nurse, or the doctor that is explaining to other doctors how a procedure is done, or how a particular medicine is distributed or given to the patient, or how something works so that they can treat the patient. And so there's a large educational component to medical narration, and not all of it is really hard words. Some of it can be educational for not just other medical students, but maybe educational for the patient. And if you have something that's educational for the patient, then they try to make those terms a little bit simpler so that you cannot be so, let's say, maybe scared of the procedure or scared of what the doctor's going to do in order to treat your condition. Examples would be videos that you would see when you go into a doctor's office, and a lot of times where they're explaining that procedure in terms to either a patient or a child. And that's another type of medical narration. So there are a wide variety of styles for medical narration. And I know for my students, I like to cover all the different styles that are hireable. So you'll have different styles for educational, corporate medical, pharmaceutical, all the different medical devices. And so there's a wide range of medical narration out there, and not all of it should be intimidating to you. For more voiceover tips, make sure to check out my videos here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.